Hi, guys. Welcome back to our podcast. It's been a little while. I'm Alexandra. This is Patrick.
Hi.
So our podcast, newly renamed Not Just a Thrift Store, we today just want to have a really quick one. So we are going to throw this out. We're not going to edit it very much. It's going to go out tomorrow. No pressure to our team.
Surprise for me. I thought I could count on editing, but okay.
A little editing.
Okay.
If there's something really bad, we'll pull it out. But aside from that, we're not going to overdo it. We just want to get it out there. We really just want to talk about our gala. So our gala's in like a month and 5 days or something. So it's in a month basically. And this is our second annual gala and it's a really big deal. So we wanted to talk about it, but not just like, hey, come to the gala, because obviously we want you guys to come to the gala and have fun. But why are we having one? And what does it mean? And where is the money going? And all of those details. So that's what we're here to talk about today.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we're really excited. It's going to be a fun night.
So this one's Scottish. Let's get the fun stuff out of the way, just like quickly. I'm super excited because it's Scottish and it's in the Highlands and it's Victorian. And so it's like all these big gala dresses and you can do like Pride and Prejudice or Bridgerton vibes and everyone loves that. And it just came out with another season. So it's like the perfect moment for us to be like, come. We're having dancing, which I am not in charge of. Nicole on our team is really good at dancing, and her team that she dances with is going to handle it. And so we're super excited to offer the ability for women to kind of have that moment of a Pride and Prejudice ball to go attend. And that's kind of a big part of it. So I'm excited. It's going to have bagpiper. We're going to have Highland dancers. We have a quartet playing music, which is phenomenal.
Not to mention the murder mystery component of the gala.
The most important part of it, right, is that we have decided as a group that we are forever going to do murder mysteries. Like that is our thing and we're going to stick with it. And we had some really good commentary last year on it and people really enjoyed it. And so we want to keep that ball rolling. Nicole is also in charge of all of that. And it's just going to be hard. So you don't even know the answer.
I do not.
So we've kept it like under wraps. Only 2 people really know the answer. And so everyone can participate, but it's easy enough for you to do it, but it's hard enough to be a challenge. And that's kind of tough to do. So
it is. We have a lot going on. It's a lot to coordinate. You've done a great job.
It's a lot.
I'd like to also say we have phenomenal dinner planned. And
we did the
great
tasting
drinks.
recently.
Yeah, the tasting was fantastic.
We did the tasting, and Patrick got to come this year because last year he wasn't able to, and he was just like, "This is the best food."
So good.
Like we all kind of rolled home after because we were so full,
and I had a 2-hour drive. It was a rough drive,
but it was good. So quick, I guess preview. We are having a beef tenderloin carving station because Scotland, and that seems fitting. And chicken, airline chicken, and a bunch of different kinds of vegetables and potatoes. Very Scottish feast feeling to it. But it's from Copper Kitchen, and their food is phenomenal. So you know it's going to be amazing. And then there's, a salad and all the other things. And we're going to have a huge bar, and that's from Hidden Lake Distillery. So they just rebranded. And they're providing the bar for us with Mavericks, and it's like this really awesome Scottish drinks and whiskey, and like everybody's really in it. And I love their passion to like participate in our very extra themed event. So
everybody I've talked to is getting really excited about tartan.
Like they're like,
shopping
I gotta find a kilt.
Is going on right now.
Everybody loves it. I'm excited. You're not wearing a kilt though.
I am not, but I am searching for the perfect tartan vest moment.
Yes,
and
it's
myself.
hard to find.
It's hard to find.
You have to pick the right tartan.
Yeah, so start shopping.
It's hard.
Quick.
Just ordered my dress. I
awesome.
normally am a very decisive person, and it took me a really long time to pick a dress. So I, too, was struggling with the shopping because it's such a big moment. I'm like, which one do I want? I don't know. And then I have to obviously be able to work the event, so I can't be a crazy ball gown with a train, which I was looking at. And then I was like, that's a bad idea.
And it's just been fun talking to people who are coming again.
Yes.
For our second annual. Still talking about how fun the first one was, and then getting so excited about this one. It's really,
and that's
it's
what we
really
want.
Fun. It's really awesome to hear and just see how much people just enjoyed coming and participating and helping us raise some funds, but also just having a really good night.
And that was kind of our purpose. So when we sat down like 2 years ago now and said we're going to do a gala and this is what we're going to do with it, part of what we said is like, yeah, we're going to raise money. We're nonprofit, obviously. that's a goal. But our bigger goal is to make sure that it's an event everyone remembers, an event they have a really good time at. They're spending their money to come support us. We want them to have a great memory to remember us by and want to come again, which they already do want to come again. So
and just have a, kind of a magical, imaginative evening.
Yes.
And, as we all kind of get dreary from winter, although this winter's not so dreary.
Spring.
But, it's still dark.
It's gloomy.
It's gloomy and dark, and so it's just a good time to shake off the winter.
Just pull yourself out of that a little bit.
Dance, some bagpipes.
I'm super excited about the bagpipes.
Some good food, some good drinks.
So tell everyone we focus on accessibility in our galas because it's a broad enough topic that we can pour the funds into accessibility. But what does that actually translate into? What does that actually mean when it comes down to planning and spending?
As far as
like
using the funds
raised,
go to, okay. I mean, that's pretty broad.
Big question.
As you know, we do it in so many different capacities. One, like our direct support professionals, I think I referred to them as our accessibility superheroes last year because they are providing that access to a grocery store to understand money and being able to read a shopping list or make a shopping list and be able to find those products in stores or out about anywhere, going to a doctor's office, being able to understand. So that's really where I start with accessibility. And then we take it more into the traditional role of physical attributes to a group home or a supported living site where we're making fully accessible kitchens, revamping bathrooms so that they are more functional and more accessible, especially as we see some of our individuals age and lose mobility, having those walk-in showers, having the floating countertops so somebody in a wheelchair can roll right up to that sink. Get that glass of water from their kitchen independently. So it's accessibility, but it's creating more independence. And then also we go into our vehicles. It's if you need a specialized vehicle to get to your doctor's appointment or go to the grocery store, and those vehicles are very costly. And we need lots of them, and we need small vans, we need large vans, just so that we ensure that all of our individuals have full access to the community.
So something else I think that's kind of come up recently that we're trying to really help everyone to understand is we obviously have government funding for certain things.
Yes.
That's how we function. But that government funding does not cover anything. It doesn't do a good enough job of covering the full cost that it requires to provide the services we do. So something Patrick likes to say a lot is it good enough? Is it good enough for me or my mom or my sister? Is it good enough for someone I know? And we like to hold ourselves to a standard that is leaps and bounds farther ahead than what the government standard is.
100%.
So really focusing in on we are raising funds to ensure that the services we provide are just amazing. Not okay, not suitable or mediocre.
Nah.
Right?
Just getting by.
Exactly, just hitting that. You hit the standard, but the standard is here and ours is here. We're you really got to it's their life. This is their day-to-day. This is going, as you said, going to the grocery store, going to the bank, learning how to do things. It's not just living so that you can live a life for the rest of your life and then that's it. We want them to thrive and be independent and learn things and achieve skills and hit goals. And so I think a really clear thing that, you can go into this a little bit more is, why do we need more money? We need more money because the money we get from the government is not enough. And so when we have thrift stores, the whole point of the thrift stores is to supplement and make sure that we can, pay our employees a fantastic wage. Make sure that everybody who works for us feels safe and they have good health care and they know they can come to us with problems and say, I need 2 weeks off, my mom is sick and that is something that you can't provide without support. So.
You bring up a really good point. I do talk about good enough for me has always been kind of a guiding philosophy for how we develop services, how we look at our homes and our apartments, our work sites, our administration building, because it translates farther than just the services. It's also I've always thought of it as an employer. Is it good enough for me? Would I want to work here? Would I want to work for myself? And if the answer is no, then we're doing something wrong.
Yep.
And so we have spent 10 years, and I have spent 10 years advocating at the legislature to increase Medicaid reimbursement rates for our services so that money goes directly into our direct support professionals, because they are the ones in the day-to-day taking care of the individuals. And I truly believe that if we take good care of our employees, they will take good care of the individuals in our care. So that being said, any healthcare person out there would totally understand that Medicaid reimbursement rates do not cover your costs. That's why you see dental providers or doctors, have limited access for that. They still want to be able to provide that service, but they can't pay their employees, and they can't run their operations if that's the bulk of theirs.
Yeah.
That's 100% of what we do.
Yeah.
100% of our services is Medicaid reimbursed. Yep. And so we work really, really hard, and we're grateful for the legislature over the last 4 or 3 sessions have done a really good job at getting us to today's standard. But we had a decade of underfunding to climb. Yep. And so what it does is, it covers the cost of direct care, but when we pull the financials that we get in through our thrift stores, services is a net zero gain. And yes, we are a nonprofit, but we can't have a net zero coming across at the end of the fiscal year, because we have 25 properties that are in constant need of maintenance and revival. That's a big part of a fundraising event, is that money goes directly into our properties to make sure that those homes, those apartments, those day programs are good enough for me, and good enough for us, and good enough for our community. And so we take great pride in the money that we get and how we pour that directly into what we do and who we provide those services to. And those are very strategic, thoughtful projects. Remodeling an 8-bed group home with 8 to 10 staff for 6 to 8 weeks is an undertaking. And we have a great team that would not also be covered by a Medicaid reimbursement rate, like our maintenance department that we, or the 65 vehicles that we have in our fleet so that we have transportation around the community. It doesn't help our IT department that makes sure that we're HIPAA compliant and we have security features. It doesn't cover our human resource department to make sure we're following all the employment laws. It doesn't cover marketing. So it's just, there's so much to what it takes to serve over 250 individuals with disabilities every single day and employ 200 people, provide health care, provide living wages. It takes a lot. And so our thrift stores are just a critical component that we would be in a much different stance right now. And a lot of that would be wages. Our wages would be very low, and we would not be able to recruit the people in because the Flathead Valley is very competitive in wages, and it's very costly to live here. And we are competing against all the other big stores, Walmart, Costco, Target, that have a lot more money and resources than we do. And so we are in direct competition for our employees. And so I like to say, if we didn't have our thrift stores and we didn't work really hard to dial our thrift store operations in over the last 8 years, we would have shrunk our services drastically because we would not be able to pay the wages that we are able to pay right now, and we would not be able to recruit people in, and our only option would be not be able to provide as much services as we do right now. And it would have been tragic for Flathead Industries and for those we serve.
And so in 2018, correct me if I'm wrong, is when the funding dilemma happened, right?
2017 budget cuts. And that's the other thing, like, our funding is up for debate every 2 years. It is very stressful. I spend a lot of time figuring out avenues, spending time with legislators, making sure that they understand what they're voting for and what it supports. But we can face cuts. Obviously, there's stuff federally right now that's not quite trickled down to the state of Montana, but lots of talk around Medicaid
There's a lot
cuts,
of talk.
a lot of cuts, Medicare, Medicaid. And so, yeah, we rely on our thrift stores to reduce some of the anxieties around uncertain budget and budget shortfalls.
And so like 2017, there was another couple places that did actually have to close their doors, right? That provided services in the health and human services arena, I think. You know, we have that blessing of like a fallback.
Yeah.
Our thrift stores really kept us.
And during that time, we did take a cut, but it was paused, and through some lawsuits through Disability Rights Montana was able to pause that, but we spent 6 months into that year not knowing if we were going to get that 3% cut back or if we're going to move forward. Carmen and myself, we reduced our financial statements by 3%, so we knew for those 6 months what we were going to have to do and what it looked like. Yeah. And so we were well prepared for weathering that storm. But evaluation and diagnostic clinics for children with disabilities was completely cut and removed from services. And that's a huge critical access point for families. Early diagnosis gets the right intervention and the right services for a kid, and it can change the trajectory of their life. Mental health programs shuttered, mental health case management closed all over the state of Montana. And what we have seen now through a lot of the work I've done on the behavioral health for future generations, or behavioral health systems for future generations, was that impact from those cuts, especially in the behavioral health realm. More reliance on state hospital, increase in homelessness because people didn't have a case manager advocating for them, connecting them to the right doctor to get their medications. So huge fallout that is a very short-sighted, which happens. We got to shore up the budget right now, but what it's going to cost the state after 6 years of those cuts was substantial. Yeah.
And that's I think the big picture thing is, for the people of the public, these are things you don't necessarily know have happened, or you're not involved. You don't have a family member that's, you know, in services or in any sort of program. Having a child with disabilities can be just such a huge weight on your shoulders. And being able to be a program where, like, we don't do anything with children. We start at 18, but we do have the resources to say, here's where you start, right? We've done a couple podcasts on where to start, what agencies to talk to, what age you should be doing that at. Like, you should be starting when they're pretty much going into high school and getting that process started, getting on those wait lists. And we may not service children necessarily with disabilities now, but we are still alongside it. We're parallel and able to just say, we can't help you, but here's where you go.
Yeah,
and
we are part
there
of
used
the
to be
continuum
better
of care, right?
That's a good way to put it.
From birth till death, there's a continuum of care for individuals, whether that's developmental disability, physical disability, mental health. It's a continuum of care for all.
And it's really key, right? It's important. Everyone knows that. You know that it's key to have the care, but you don't really know the background, and you don't know how the care comes about and where it comes from. We're one of many places that do provide that care, and that care can be extremely costly, extremely important, but also costly. So you said earlier, I want to touch back on it and just give like a little bullet point version of it. We have over 25 buildings, facilities, and so that, you know, is group homes, we have supported living, we have life skills, we have stores, we have admin. That includes, you know, everything. Each of those has a roof that needs to be replaced every so often. It's like 20 years or so, depending on if there's a storm that, you know, a tree lands on it. We need to do resealing of asphalt. We need to redo kitchens as needed. And a lot of the properties we have were bought in the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
So they're older properties. Our board was extremely frugal and good at picking the right places and buying at the right times. It doesn't mean that the buildings are brand new and fancy, though. It means that they need work. They need to have the kitchen redone so that it is actually accessible for someone in a wheelchair to get a glass of water. We have over 65 vehicles, so we put winter tires on all of them. We have oil changes. We have like wiper fluid. So there's a whole, when he says maintenance department, what we mean is like
65
everything.
vehicles, 25 properties,
yes.
everything, snow removal.
Yes. And the storms we just recently had up in Libby, so we work closely with another nonprofit, sister company up there, and they had the road go out, and they had power outages, and we had generators ready. But we are working currently on getting generators in Kalispell for all of our properties, because for the same reason, we could have a windstorm like just what happened where everyone loses power for 3 or 4 days. That might be an inconvenience to you, but it can be extremely dangerous for somebody who needs to have that power for their own reasons. So just to put it in perspective with bullet point reasons, that's like a tiny piece of the puzzle of why the money is so important that we raise, why we have these events, why we have thrift stores, why we do this, because it matters for us to make sure that we can provide the right van with the right accessibility for the right person, so that they can go to the grocery store, or they can go bowling with everyone else, or they can, whatever it is, tons of activities.
Tons of activities, and we're raising money for that. It's an experience for somebody with a disability, and that could be taking the first flight ever to a new community or out of state for the first time, and being able just to see a city or see the ocean, things that I think a lot of times we take for granted, or just even going to a yoga class in the community. That's an experience that somebody hasn't had the opportunity to do, and that's how we all discover what we like, who we are.
Try it out.
You have to have experiences, and so, as well as our summer camp on 3-day summer camp on the lake, where we bring everybody together from our 3 other sister agencies and just have a great time with DJs and boats and swimming and
the best
lawn activities. It's just the best time.
I think last year we raised, so one of the paddle raises we did at our gala was sending one person to camp for it's a 3-day camp. And so that paddle raise amount was $250. And from memory, it's been a while, but I'm the one who clerked it. I think it was 15 people donated $250.
That's amazing.
So we sent 15 people to camp based on that. So that's where putting it into perspective as we raise money, that's a visual representation of exactly what that money is going to do, and a great experience, this life experience that person now gets to enjoy because of that donation. So I hope that helps. I hope that puts it into perspective for people. We really just want everybody to feel like they know what's happening and that we're being transparent, and feel free to ask questions, obviously. But it's just one of those things where it's where does the money go? What do we spend it on? What do we need it for? You guys are federally funded, kind of, so slightly. And so I don't want that to be a misconception that people are but why do you need more money? This is why. I hope that helps to answer it. Obviously, always, you are welcome to leave a comment on the YouTube video or on one of our social medias, and shoot us an email, info@flatheadindustries.org, and we can answer your questions. Or maybe if it's a great question, we can make it into a whole nother podcast episode and talk about it, because we are so close to this that we maybe aren't seeing what other people maybe are missing, and the gaps in information that we're leaving behind. So
and come join us on March 13th for a fabulous gala, and help us raise some money and learn more about Flathead Industries and all the things and impact we have in our community in Western Montana, and just
meet
get
Patrick.
to know us.
You get to meet Patrick, and you get to watch him make a speech. I get to make a speech. No pressure. And you really just get to see, and you could come up and be explain that to me. I would love to learn more and talk to us. That's why we're there, to talk to us and meet everybody. And a lot of our team is there. Our CFO is there, and our head of HR is there. And we get the whole team comes. It's a big team, activity for everyone to be a part of it. I think also from memory, we have a little less than 100 tickets left. I looked at it this morning. So it is time to get your tickets. We sold out right about the mid to late February time last year, which was about a month out from the event. So we are approaching that quickly. So get your tickets before you lose out on that opportunity.
Because there's a few tables that I think are going to go quick to some people that are now just kind of learning about it.
Yes, we have a few people that were oh my gosh, we didn't know. We're going to buy a table. At least a few. So buy tickets today so that you can get it. We did just have a flash sale, so that's unfortunate. Maybe we'll do one more. We'll see. We were talking about it.
Where do they go to buy tickets?
So you have to go to flatheadindustries.org, and then we just link you across, because obviously there's another website where we sell the tickets, but keep it simple, flatheadindustries.org. Yeah. And we'll link it in our YouTube thing on here, and make sure that it's on the little description, so that it's super easy for you to go find it. I think it'll be a really fun event this year.
Oh yeah.
The
One
kilts.
thing I also forgot about. Destination DJ is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's the best.
he's the best. He's going to MC the night for us, but also have 360 camera booth as well as
Yes.
a traditional camera booth. And so people can have these awesome photos
Yes.
to memorialize their night and their and just have a great time
I
doing
didn't
it.
get to do the 360 last year.
I
So
begged for that to be there at the event, and I did not get a chance for the 360. So
Yeah.
I will be getting.
And
the
we were
360.
thinking about cutting it this year, and Patrick was like, absolutely not. I want to do the 360. So come along, have fun. It's Sherlock Holmes and Princess Victoria and Scotland, and it's such a fun mystery. So come enjoy and support what we do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.